jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Yo, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to all. Yes, I want to hurry up and get my Christmas edition out of the way. Why? Because I can. What better time to do it early in the morning when you're rising up out of the bed and hit you with some boxing common sense. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing like change. But when people start to talk about it, it starts to resonate a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Especially on 12/25. You know what I'm saying? Especially on 12/25. So my review today is just not to set the record straight, but just to kind of remind you all that we're in a digital world right now. And there's a lot of things that's changing, and we've seen it changing, but people just didn't want to latch on to it. They had the ability to, but due to their own stubbornness, bias, and whatever agitprop they was trying to push, they refused to see what was going on. They refused to have any type of real effect in the system of boxing. Boxing operates within the system. I've said it before. The auxiliary is there for everybody to eat from. I've said this many times before. The roots goes deep. The roots are deep when it comes to boxing. So when it comes right back around full circle and you see these changes that's starting to develop, you can speak on it. You have the right to freedom of speech. But it only goes so far, y'all. It only goes so far. A lot of people on this social media, they choose to speak on certain things that doesn't sit with them right. Certain areas of boxing they disagree with. But at the end of the day, there's shakers and movers and role players in the sport. There's decision makers. There are approving authorities. There are the people that's at the top that's sitting in those private meetings. Those are the ones that's making the decisions. Whether they reach back and go on YouTube and see what we're talking about is yet to be determined. We have no evidence of that. But we continue to have a sense of ignorance that pretty much is plaguing the YTC. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just keeping it Christmas like, right? I'm still gonna bring the hot grease, but I'm keeping it Christmas like. So my review is on KO Boxing, and his video that he put out recently. And once again, this is no different than any one of my other reviews. I just felt like there wasn't a reward in the message that he was trying to send, because a lot of what he has in his catalog continues to contradict what he's trying to do now. Now, you have every right to basically push a narrative or try to send a message. But if you're not making the moves for change other than where you're at right now, what you're speaking on becomes archaic. Your message becomes clandestine. People tend to look at you like, yeah, I know what language he's speaking. I hear him and everything. But what is the message? What's changing for the message? How do you want your listeners to see see you making change? You can't just speak to the listeners in order for them to make change, because they're listening. They listen. They have a lesser authoritative presence than you do. You have a platform. They don't. They're listening. So what you say out your mouth, yeah, you're gonna have some of those loyal fans at first that support you, but the ones that has common sense should kind of break it down just a little bit deeper and say certain things don't make sense. Now, I'm not here to ramble on. Let's get down to it. I want to do a review of his recent video, and this is KO86TV. And I just want to basically, for you all to listen as to how things have transpired over the last 3 years, right? I'm going to not go back in his catalog and play all those videos. I want to play the most recent one and utilize his audio. It's not going to be long and in depth, but I just want to break some things down. Now, if you're looking at my thumbnail, right? You see what I see, right? Right? What does that say? Q&A, you know what I'm saying? Turki al-Sheikh in the background. You see the room, the box, you know what I'm saying? Your reach, a lot of that is going on right now on the YTC. The reach is encompassed by a cube, a box setting, boxing event coverage, no itinerary. You know what I'm saying? You got the paper plane up there, no flight status, no reservations. More so orientated around super chat support when boxing is out here in the world. You know what I'm saying? Boxing is out here in the world. So let's get right down to it, man. Let's go through and review. That's all, if I'm able to. Let's get down to it. It's nothing bad on Christmas. I'm just trying to find out something because we headed to the New Year's very, very soon. And I want people to understand that, you know, people are going to have their own messages. I wouldn't call it an agenda, but it seems and feels so much like an agenda that is absolutely failing. I don't want anybody to be a part of the failing process. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to sit up here and think this is what you have to look for. You can do your own research and find out some of this information.
American fight fan, a black American content creator, a black American, an American content creator, a black American fight fan, a black American content creator, and support Turki al-Sheikh and Riyadh season over Al Heyman and Premier Boxing Champ. How that shit work? Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video, turn on your notifications. Catch me live Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Just on principle, right? Specifically, if you one of these black American channels, these black American, you know, fight fans, and you pro-black and shit, like how you reconcile within yourself supporting Turki al-Sheikh and Riyadh season with what Turki al-Sheikh stands for and with what he's trying to do in the sport of boxing? KO, what is KO talking about? Is this a geopolitical channel? What is KO talking about, bro? Follow the money, bro. Let's get to it. Number one, first and foremost, if you're an American fight fan, why do you want somebody to take all your talent that you have here in America, all your ability to watch fights and go to fights? Why do you want them to take that away from you? Because if you haven't heard, the clear season, the clear agenda from the Saudi Public Investment Fund is to focus only on Saudi Arabia and divest from pouring money into other economies and other countries, which is why you have seen them only have one card.
Are you still wearing loads and loads of layers just to go outside? The bearskin.
One card since Turki al-Sheikh has gotten into boxing has been in America, because they're only interested in building their own country. and investing in their own country. So right off the rip, why would you want someone to take your ability to go to fights from you? Why would you want someone to take your ability to watch fights at a convenient hour for you?
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. Why would I want somebody to take your access to watch fights?
Hour for you. Want from you. Why would you want someone to take your ability to watch fights at a convenient hour for you? From you. Why would you want someone to and investing in their own country? So right off the rip,
He said investing in their own country. So let's just go back to, let's say 2022, right? 2022, when the talk of the town was Spence Crawford, right? The world was waiting for Spence to go in there and fight Yordenis Ugas. We just have to stop at 2022. And KO, I ask you this. Like, where were you? What was your conversational piece back in 2022? Were you trying to derive a plan because you foreseen what was about to happen with Turki al-Sheikh? Because when I went through your catalog, I didn't see it. And even back then, I didn't hear you talking gracefully about what the black American fight fans should be doing. The American fight fans should be doing over here in the U.S. How we supposed to unionize and get together as one to spread this message. How are we supposed to participate in changing the sport of boxing? I don't remember hearing your voice speak that language in 2022. I'm just saying. But now all of a sudden it's getting to the holiday season. Something ain't right. I'm not saying you don't have a right to change. You know what I'm saying? Do what you want. You grown. But what I'm saying, I did not hear this type of language in 2022. Why couldn't you have foreseen this back in 2022 about Turki al-Sheikh and what he's done that you don't like in 24 with just putting on one fight? So one fight just so happened to be a fighter that was on the main event that you absolutely despise. It wasn't good enough. So we're acting like nothing else matters. Turki al-Sheikh just starting to get the wheels spinning in this U.S. footprint, and there's a problem.
why would you want someone to take your ability to go to fights from you? Why would you want someone to take your ability to watch fights at a convenient hour for you?
So this is my thing there, KO. As you're looking at my thumbnail, and you've heard me say this before, you ask, why would we want Turki al-Sheikh to take our ability from going to fights? I mean, why would we want him to take that ability from you, right? Going to fights and watching fights at a convenient hour, which is fair to the casuals, okay? But this is strictly to you. I feel that your message is not only going to fall on deaf ears, but to validate the message you're putting out there is missing some very, very needed evidence. First of all, if you're so concerned about al-Sheikh and us not being able to go to fights, what is your percentage of fights that you have attended in that good old Texas footprint over there where boxing is all the time? I have to be honest with you, bro. If you was an avid media content creator that showed up at fights all the time and you was putting your voice out there, people seeing you, people had a different, optic. They seen you at the fights. So when you put messages out like this, they'll say, hey, I seen KO at the fights. So I respect what he's saying about his grievance with Turki al-Sheikh because he attended the fights here. No, you're the man in the box. You're the man in the box, KO. That's why your message is falling on deaf ears. You are the man in the box. Your reach doesn't extend too far past your 14,000 subs. Now, I'm not saying those are the only people that listen to you. You have your cult following. You have those who tune in, and I have no problem with that. But if you come up here with a message, you're trying to say, let me project this type of energy towards Turki al-Sheikh as if to blame him for something. You have to blame yourself first. We have to start with you first, because in 2022, your message was not like this. Your message was entirely focused on what PBC is not going to do for Terrence Crawford because of what he did and what was said in the first negotiation process when they was going through it to attempt to fight in 2022. I was there. I remember, bro. I remember. Your whole entire focus was what Crawford is not going to get. What he's not going to get, what he don't deserve. You know, what Al Heyman was going to do, you know, just because Crawford asked for the books, because he was talking about net pay. Y'all was up here throwing numbers around on what he rates, who's the A side, B side. You know, you was talking to Al Heyman is not going to let this happen. He ain't going to let that happen. That's all y'all was talking about. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to do business with Crawford. Who is Crawford? Y'all was busy talking about what he used to do, where he was previously at top rank. How he had so many discrepancies on how he was moving as a fighter. That was your focal point right there. But to come up to this point, 2024, heading 25, and you worried about when we looking at a fight? You worrying about Turki al-Sheikh preventing us to be able to visit the fight? Where is your credentials, my brother? You have the opportunity to present your evidence. Where is your credentials? So whoever's listening to this, they can understand that you have taken to volunteer your time to go to these fights and support PBC. I've covered more PBC fights than you, bro. You said ain't nobody covering fights more than you. That's what you said. Nobody's covering the most more fights than you are. And I'm saying, damn, KO, you don't get it. You just can't come in the chat and scurry around and be mad and angry at what I say, but act like it's no merit to it, like it has absolutely zero validity. Where are your itinerary? What manifestos can you present to the general public that you have left your home to go out and support PBC when they're in your backyard? When have you set aside and made a schedule and say, this is strictly for me going out there and support, show my face, put in the time and effort, the labor? Do you know how tough the labor is outside of that room to run a fight week by yourself? The labor is intensive. The schedule. If you're able to get there, let's just say they come to Texas, you cover a fight, you cover the they have an open workout Wednesday. Wednesday they have a presser. Thursday they might have an open workout. Friday weigh-ins. Saturday fight night. Right? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's 4 days out of the week. How many days out of a fight card have you covered enough to speak on the message that you're trying to send to the fans about Turki al-Sheikh? How can we be mad at your message that he's disallowing us to attend fights when you yourself, you have all the options to attend fights, but you don't? You don't attend fights. You're the man in the box. When have you been at a fight, man? Let's keep it moving. I don't get it. When have you been to a fight so that you can have people co-signing, backing you up, supporting? Man, the media game extends way outside the room. It extends far out the Wi-Fi connection. Seriously, it extends far past that shit.
Why would you want that? I don't understand. You know, and the more and more I thought about this, I've realized that the majority of the people that I talk to, on this channel that tell me, oh, I don't care about the fight coming on at 4 p.m. I don't care about going to the fights as long as I can watch the fight. I don't give a fuck about having the ability to go to the fights if I want to. A lot of y'all are motherfuckers that don't buy shit anyway. Yeah.
So you worrying about someone spending their own money buying a fight. Think about what you're saying. Think about what you're saying. You dare complain about somebody else and you're trying to guess, you know what I'm saying, about them spending money on a fight. You're going to automatically guess that they don't spend money on a fight. But if I flip it over and say, can you produce receipts on when you've been in town? What money have you spent to cover a fight? Why am I projecting that on you? Because you're supposed to be a content creator. You say you're covering more fights than anyone. Why haven't you arrived? Why isn't there consistent footage out there of you covering a fight card? For one, you lack the experience. You know what I'm saying? You have not put in the proper hours to know how to maneuver yourself on a fight week. It would be good to see you in a media scrum, speaking to your favorite fighters so they can see your face outside of the box, so they can know that you dedicated. You're doing more to take yourself outside the box and go out here and donate your time by covering. Notice I said in person there, KO. In person. Covering a fight in person definitely changes the lens of perspective. I can guarantee you that. It provides you just a lot more perspective as to what you're talking about on your platform. It does. It's much more difficult to go out here and cover days in a hotel room processing information, talking to your fans, letting them know you're on site. On site is very important. In person on site is extremely important. It's much different than the cubbyhole. You have to wake up, man. Your reach is very restricted when you're trying to put all this culpability on a face that has just now made his debut August 3rd of 2024, putting on his first card in LA, and you didn't even go to that fight either. Why put him a dream off in the main event?
Yeah, a lot of y'all are people that don't buy pay-per-views. You don't go to fights anyway. So of course, if you fire sticking shit anyway, right? If you don't pour money into the sport anyway, if you don't invest your time anyway in it, why would you even give a fuck?
You said if you don't invest your time, money, is that what you said? Doesn't that, first of all, you need to set the example by being the example? Right? How many of your listeners are looking to you to emulate how they plan on moving forward in this boxing game, especially when it comes to the media? How do you want them to tread? How do you want their reach to be? What steps can they take by looking in your catalog and looking at your and hearing your messages? What example are you setting by taking your money that your faithful, dedicated alliance that supports you? Why haven't you set aside a manifesto to show up to these fights in person? I can ask why all the time. It's so simple. But a lot of what you're talking about, there's lessons to be learned. You want to talk on the exterior, but you don't want to go in person to show people that you're willing to leave your comfort zone, the cubicle space, so you can expand your reach like a lot of other content creators out here. There's a lot of other content creators that has been out here in person, but yet you have refused to leave the cubicle. You are the man in the box. That means every time a fight, you're claiming that you pay for the fight. But clearly, there may be some other circumstances that you still see the fight, but you may not pay for it. But yet you're accusing others of potentially using a fire stick. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. I think your entire focus on Turkey al-Sheikh is pointless because you can't stop it. You know what I'm saying? Can you potentially persuade others that listen to you on here? Yeah. But we're talking about adults, hardcore boxing fans. The struggle for me is the ones that don't get it enough to ask you the same questions that I'm asking you. If you have a problem with him taking or removing access that we had and we took for granted, boxing fans took this shit for granted over here. U.S. boxing fans took it for granted. All you wanted to do is talk about things that's been ongoing for years, for years, for years, for years. And now the change is upon us. The change is upon us, and you feel some type of way.
About who putting up money for the fight, does it make business sense? Is it good for the health of the sport in my country? You don't care about shit like that because you don't put no money into it anyway.
We don't put no money into it. Like seriously, y'all. Y'all know I've done reviews before, right? Am I wrong for doing this review? You're talking about people putting money into something. Brother, you're not putting money into nothing when you sitting at home doing a live stream on fight night. Do you know you fit in with a surplus of other content creators that don't go to fights, but yet they sit there and hopefully it's enough people in the chat to give them super chats? So the money that you make on fight night, are you putting it back into PBC? No, that's going to you. That's going to you. You're not expanding the amount of people that tune in to PBC. You're not sending them over there to the fights. You're not doing any of that. You're in a place where you're comfortable and you can go live and people can support your channel, which I don't have no problem what your money is and what you're making. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember at one point in time you called me broke. You say you make more money than me and everybody else. But I'm asking myself, is that is indeed truthful? The veracity of that, right? If you have the veracity and you're being honest and truthful, right? Why can't you produce documentations of an itinerary to support, to show PBC you support them by showing up and seeing and so they can see you in person and know who you are? This afar deal, and you want to complain about people not putting money into something? Who are you to even speak on it when you don't do it yourself? Absolutely. You don't even take the effort, brother. It's sad too. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's just sad. Let's get back to it though. Let's get back to it.
Support your fighter talking ad nauseum days on end about Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson. About who putting up money for the fight, does it make business sense, is it good for the health of the sport in my country? You don't care about shit like that because you don't put no money into it anyway. You support your fighter talking ad nauseum days on end about Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, and then when those guys get pay-per-views or those guys have a fight here in America, you don't go to the fight. You don't.
Is it just me, y'all? Is it just me, or is it just chatter, or it's just noise? Is this what you call crowd noise? What is this? Really? I mean, I clearly hear what he's saying, but are you chastising people for not putting back into the sport when you yourself have not put forth the effort to do it? You haven't set the example. You haven't put forth the effort to do it. There's no debating this. What are you talking about? For real. Help us understand, what are you talking about? You don't put back into the system. You speak about PBC and Al Heyman so much, but you don't donate. You do not volunteer. You unwilling to do pro bono work to show your support for this organization that you're on here trying to advocate for. You in full-blown protest about Turki al-Sheikh. But guess what? I haven't heard you be in full-blown protest about PBC and how to keep them afloat. You know, where were you when Showtime was on their way out the door? Where were you? The only thing y'all was talking about over here is what Crawford hasn't done in his career. I didn't see a big group of you all having a roundtable discussion about PBC in order to get certain topics out there. I've never seen a roundtable discussion. Panels aren't a roundtable discussion. They're just a all for one for all type of dialogue where everybody is speaking. But you yourself, you haven't donated your time and effort enough to even speak on it. You know, you cannot sit up here and feel some type of way about the fight fans that supposedly support you or whoever you're talking to, not contributing to the sport. It's hypocrisy at its best there, KO.
Buy their pay-per-views, which is why they gotta go over there to Turkey to try to get overpaid, because y'all motherfuckers don't support them in real life. You support them on YouTube, though. This man is literally trying to take all of our fighters and put them over there, and y'all support him over the person in Al Heyman and Premier Boxing Champions is actually trying to put on fights here in America. Y'all are sickening, bro. You anti-American.
We're anti-American. But every time I see you talking to one of these fighters, man, you're trying to go hard in them. You're trying to speak to them like you've been in the ring and you have this legacy that everybody talks about, and they just happy to see you on YouTube being one of them. You act like you was one of them hitters, you know, back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Well, your record is one of the best that's out there. You know what I'm saying? You act like you have names on this so-called phantom resume as a professional boxer. You have talked to some of these fighters like they wasn't shit, bro. But yet you getting on here acting like you're on a whole nother level of hierarchy, like you have the paperwork to prove it. Where's your manifesto? Where's your credentials that you can hang on your neck and show the people, hey, I've been to these fights. I've been covering these fights. If you can't do this, man, a lot of what you're saying, your message is falling on deaf ears. People are not listening. They're laughing. They might start with the same letter, but come on, they don't mean the same, bro. People are laughing. You can't come over here and talk about what they ain't doing and you're not doing it either.
American, dog. You anti-American. Just so you also know, for you ladies that support Turki al-Sheikh, that support Riyadh season and what they got going on in Saudi Arabia, the fact that you get shit here in America and you get to have certain rights here in America, you go over there to Saudi Arabia, you don't get to have some of them same rights.
I'm glad you said that, talking about rights and, you know, us going over there, if we can or not, we don't have those rights to talk. Well, guess what? One of the primary outlets, you would know this if you actually covered fights, one of the primary outlets to censor and basically put restrictions on media is PBC. If you went to the fights, if you attended, if you submitted for credentials, that's one of the ones who quickly, and that's a lot of them, not just PBC. There's some, but you know, I wouldn't say top rank. Top rank pretty much lets you have a media scrum as you see fit. You know what I'm saying? But I know for personal experience, and I said the other day about Canelo telling them, I don't want to hear nothing about no David Benavidez questions. Is that not censorship? Freedom of press? Freedom of speech? So you're trying to take it all the way in another country to place that culpability on them for saying you're not going to be able to do this and that. How about just getting there? How about just having the opportunity to get there? I know you're not going to never be seen in Saudi Arabia because the money that your fans donate to you, unwilling to donate the same type of money to attend a fight in person. That's my issue. Like you're talking about the exterior problems that you see with them potentially censoring media, but you yourself, and you consider yourself one of the best at it, and you covering the most fights than anybody. You're here in your own country, your own footprint of Texas, and you won't even go to a fight and submit for credentials to cover a fight, yo. This is lunacy at its highest, bro. What are you talking about? You are unwilling to attend a fight and go through the goddamn trenches and cover these fights, put in the hours, sit in the pressers. What pressers have you sit? What pressers have you watched in person and taken notes? What presser, bro? It's just my question. What presser have you watched? When have you sat in a presser and listened to the fighters on the UC, the co-main, and the main talk to one another in person? Then after it was over, went in there and interviewed them. Have you ever been a part of a media scrum? It's just a lot of areas of pro bono work. You know what I'm saying? Effort, EFFORT, effort. And let me show you this there, KO. Maybe you should take this with you. Let me give you an understanding. What does that say right there? What does that say? That word is proactive. A person, policy, or action, creating or controlling a situation by causing something to happen rather than responding to it after it has happened. Be proactive in identifying and preventing potential problems. Were you proactive in identifying potential problems with PBC? Were you proactive? This is just my question to you. What did you do that was proactive to prevent some of the same issues that you have right now with Turki al-Sheikh supposedly removing access from the U.S. footprint? What did you do ahead of time? That's all I want to know, bro. What did you do ahead of time, man, to prevent this? How did you gather your listeners and talk about something that's serious? Like, hey, I know we get on the panel and we just talk about random topics. Okay, but today, this is 2022. We know we got the big fight. Crawford Spence fell out, this, that, and the other, and all that, right? Not to mention, Al Heyman said he didn't want nobody else touching the fight. But he's talking about that's the Crawford blame. He want to finger point that to Crawford, because he was doing too much. One of the biggest fights of this era, they was trying to send them guys into the four-corner dominion to fight for net pay. But yet Crawford wanted to see the books and request all that. And no, that was just disrespectful. Not only that, you want to say sign with PBC, but yet this year right here has truly put on display a plethora of fighters that has left, has left that advisement. You know what I'm saying? We know TGB is the promotion, but that's something you don't talk about. You know what I'm saying? They say PBC, but I don't see you having any type of liaison, any type of logistics with people there to show up and basically get your credentials and go through the whole process, man. I haven't seen you get your people together and speak on changes that may potentially take place in the future from what you're seeing. Did you see Showtime leaving? Did you even see that? Did you have an opportunity to see if that was possible?
Just looked the shit up not too long ago. You got a driver's license here? That's cool. That's good. Everybody get to get a driver's license when they're 16 years old. No problem. You get a hardship license, 15 years old. No problem. No issue. Women just got the ability to be able to drive over there. Look it up. Look it up.
Want to smell like a crisp fall evening with notes of cinnamon?
That's crazy that you're worrying about women and driver's license, but yet You won't even buckle up and go to a fight card when it's in Texas. Talking about driving, how far is it to the next town where you can attend the fight in person? Talking about buckling up. You make all that money. I know you got a durable car, right? I mean, you affluent people, because you say you make more money, than me, of course, like that, right? You don't have an electric vehicle? I'm pretty sure you got to have something of high end value to be able to conserve, that energy and drive into a fight. It can't be that far. If it's 3-4 hours, it can't be that far, bro.
Look that shit up, man. But that's the type of shit y'all support. What they got to do with boxing, KO? The people that give him his money, they make those rules. You think they giving him that money if he don't believe in that type of shit too? He taking the sport away from you, your ability to go to it. And all the shit that you get to do freely as an American, he don't believe in that shit.
But KO, listen to me, brother. You have a lot of things you're able to do freely as an American, and you choose. Let me drop this. You choose to basically demonstrate from that cubicle space. That's where you're choosing. You're selecting to demonstrate from that cubicle space. And you're worrying about what Turki al-Sheikh and his position that he hold over in his country. You worrying about the moves he's taken away from us? Bro, you had every opportunity to change the world in boxing. Why, you couldn't deal with this system? You couldn't be a heavy hitter? Or you want to tell people on the YouTube that you're a hitter? If you're a hitter on YouTube, can you please direct us where we can source all these accolades from on what you have been able to change on the YTC? That's all I want, man. Simple documentation.
All this shit is a means to an end to him. Free speech, like this fucking video. Freedom of press, like this fucking video right here. They don't believe in that shit over there. You get killed over there. I don't know how to say the dude name. Ask Jamal Khashoggi. Ask not millions, but ask the all the goddamn civil rights activists, all the people that spoke up against the regime over there. Ask them about how that is, because they ass still in prison right now.
People, listeners, I do apologize. This is not a political live stream. This is a review of KO. You know what I'm saying? And some of the topics that he's speaking on that's far off the compass when you're talking about what's important right now in boxing. You know what I'm saying? The disapproval rating is at an all-time high, because why should somebody over here be concerned about how he's running the country over there when we know for a fact, would never attend a fight over there in Saudi? He'll never spend that much money to go through the entire process just to say, you know what, I showed y'all. Through all y'all support and super chats, I reached into my freaking budget and I went over here to Saudi to cover a fight February 22nd. Yeah, I went over there to cover that fight February 22nd because it's one of the biggest cards in 2025. Not over here in the U.S., but over there in Riyadh, just to see how Turki al-Sheikh and his entire team operates, how they move. You being able to get content from being on site. No, you're not willing to do that. You're not willing to do that because it seems like you just throwing a temper tantrum. You're pouting. You're pouting, bro.
Being treated like dog shit. You believe in somebody. You backing somebody. You supporting the motherfucker that believes that you shouldn't even have a right to your fucking opinion. And y'all think he bought Ring magazine. You think his bosses had him buy Ring magazine so he can just let Ring magazine print whatever the fuck they want to print. If they want to be critical about him, they can be critical about him. If they want to talk shit about Riyadh season, they can talk shit about Riyadh season. He ain't gonna have no hand in it. Y'all a bunch of fucking idiots, bro. Some of you. Mm-hmm.
So now all of a sudden we have an issue with Ring. When I've heard so many times people criticizing De La Hoya for all those provocative exposing pictures of, that he took when he was supposedly strung out on whatever recreational drug he was on, right? But y'all was laughing and joking around. And De La Hoya is a legend in the sport of boxing. But yet, when it came to the Ring magazine, what type of respect did y'all give it? All you wanted to do is talk about who shouldn't be on the pound for pound list, who shouldn't. You used it as references to prove your point on certain fighters and where they was ranked and all that other shit, right? Now that Turki al-Sheikh has removed the ring, right? You shouldn't feel no type of way because you didn't give a damn to begin with. You just use it as a source of reference and you nitpicked through it, critiqued whatever the information was on it, and that was it. You didn't show it no real respect, no quality respect when it was at your access. Now it's not it's in construction. That's where it's in construction right now. No one should be mad. No one should be mad at all. Because it wasn't in your ownership. You didn't have proprietary over it. Nothing. Period.
Lack of a better word, you a bunch of idiots, bro. Falling for this shit. Falling for the banana in the goddamn tailpipe. This going over a lot of y'all heads. I don't care, but it had to be said so that I can get this shit off my chest. Because I've been holding shit in for a little too long. He bought Ring magazine. He trying to buy up the entire sport. And when he get control of it, y'all think he gonna be pouring that control into other markets like, oh, I got control over everything. I'm gonna do what's beneficial for America. I'm gonna do what's beneficial for the UK. I'm gonna do what's beneficial for Japan. No, if he gets to buy all this shit up, he gonna do what's beneficial for Saudi Arabia, you idiots. He get control over everything. He gonna take that shit and put it over there in Saudi Arabia. Then you won't have hardly any fights over here in America.
So let me ask you this question. Let's just do some troubleshooting from afar. Okay, KO, let's say me and you are afar from a fight that's going on over here. Let's just go back in time a little bit in hindsight. Let's just say LA, August 3rd, right? All right. First of all, my question to you, all right? Did you go to the fight? I didn't go to the fight, but did you go to the fight? We didn't go to the fight. So right now, in hindsight, we're basically from afar. We're viewing media from afar. So that means we're not in person. We're not able to see, any other figures, boxers, celebs, and none of that on deck, right? We don't even have opportunity to see Turki al-Sheikh in person, right? So we're doing it from afar. Now, my question to you is, hearing you whine and pout about not being able to go to fights, wouldn't it be the same? Wouldn't it be the same? Just like you talk about he only did one fight over here. You didn't attend that fight. Because for whatever reasons, your favorite fighter wasn't on, you did not attend the fight. You and I viewed that fight from afar via technology and how things have pretty much improved and advanced over the years. You did not attend the fight. But what you will do is continue to stay in the cubicle and cover the fights, feel comfortable being inside your domicile, not having to dip into the budget to pay for lodging, flights, food. You know what I'm saying? Doing things to show your dedication and commitment to the sport by donating your own money to the very same organization you up here protesting about. You're up here protesting, advocating for PBC. But yet, we don't see you at PBC fights. When are you gonna attend a PBC fight? When are you going out to Vegas, bro? When are you going out somewhere to PBC fights? When? That's all I want to say, bro. I want to know when you're going, bro. You know what I'm saying? You act like Amelia Earhart is still trying to goddamn make sure we can get a plane from point A to B, bro. You act like you waiting on the Wright brothers to get back with you and say, hey, I think we did it. We're going to test this weekend. You want to come with us? I can't guarantee you a safe landing, but you want to come with us? At least you'll have that to report on. It'll be much better access as a content creator that you can, fly on this type of plane and go to the fight that's upcoming in 2 weeks. We're going to do about 15 test runs. You want to come? Bro, we ain't looking at the Wright brothers, man. We're not trying to figure out if flights exist. They exist, bro. But you're calling people idiots and ignorant as if you're trying to push an agenda that we shouldn't support Turki al-Sheikh. And the question for me, what have you done to sway us that we shouldn't be paying attention? Oh, the same way you did over here in the U.S. when it was Crawford and he was moving funny. You know, all the rhetoric and smear campaign of an American fighter that was over here. And look, what improvement came from that? They end up having Showtime help them out. Well, how did PBC help that fight get made one of the biggest fights when Al Heyman said he didn't want anyone? And you up here trying to explain to the people like it makes sense that you got a problem with Turki al-Sheikh taking advantage of a system that you've been taking advantage of? You're able to cover this shit from afar without covering fights, bro. And then you get on here and you're denigrating boxing fans who support Turki al-Sheikh when you nor your people have taken the opportunity to form some type of group, coalition, or whatever the case to proactively prevent what you're complaining about right now. Am I right or wrong, man? Am I right or wrong?
None whatsoever. You think somebody that comes from a place and believes in some shit about people not having really basic human rights, not having the ability to think for themselves, you think he's buying all this shit up so that you can keep your freedoms if you a fighter, you can keep your freedoms if you a promoter, you can keep your freedoms if you a manager? No, he trying to snatch all that shit up out of y'all. And you dumbass American fight fans, majority of you black are falling for this shit, bro. All because you like your favorite fighter being able to have some perceived sense of leverage. Now your favorite fighter is just a dummy and can't get money nowhere else and scared to bet on himself, so he runs over there to get on his knees for this Turki al-Sheikh that's literally trying to steal the sport of boxing from American fight fans, bro.
So how can Turki al-Sheikh steal the sport of boxing when you have promoters everywhere? Throughout the geographical footprint, you have boxing promoters everywhere. It operates within the system. There's no one person in charge of boxing. I've said this numerous of times before. There's no one person to include al-Sheikh that's in charge of boxing. There's promoters everywhere that's putting on boxing. The sport still isn't regulated to this day. To this day, the sport is still not regulated.
Bro. Y'all a bunch of clowns for this shit, man. And then you decide to choose him over the one person that's trying to stand tall, trying to compete, trying to put on his own big fights, trying to make the best possible fights that he can make by cross-promotionally trying to deal with everybody.
Is he talking about PBC? Or, because Al said he didn't want anyone else touching it. Or is now it's being recognized? Because I know they cross-promote when it was Wilder and Fury. Yeah, I guess nobody wants to talk about that if Wilder wasn't their favorite fighter. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because Top Rank and PBC did co-promote that fight. Seriously. I mean, are you talking, say?
The only thing that PBC is asking is that they got to make sense from a business perspective. Yeah, we'll send Cool Boy Steph over there, but it got to make sense. Yeah, we'll try to make Tank versus...
Granted, he didn't come back with his belts. So what's the point of sending somebody over somewhere? Oh, my bad. I got to the whole point of KO back in the day and his favorite punchline that he loved to use. We'll get back to it, though.
Ryan, but it got to make sense. Yeah, we'll try to make Canelo versus Berlanga, but it got to make sense. We'll make Canelo versus David Benavidez. We'll try so hard. It got to make sense. We'll make Canelo versus Munguia. It got to make sense. We'll make Tank versus Long. It got to make sense. We're trying to work out Tank versus Keyshawn. It got to make sense. Everybody needs to eat. We need to pay these fighters what we can pay them in order for us to make money too, because we need to generate revenue for the sport to be healthy. Y'all are siding with the motherfucker that's willing to throw away money to try to make these fights happen. And then you thinking he throwing away money with no ulterior motive. You a bunch of fucking dummies, bro. Billionaires, trillionaires, Saudi Arabia specifically, ain't just throwing money out here with no ulterior motives in sight. Dumbass. Y'all, bro.
Excuse me, people. What is he mad about? This is stupid. I mean, what are you mad about? Are you mad about something that you didn't proactively try to change? I mean, you have mega donors, right? You have the super chat donors, right? You're trying to tell me all that color that be in your chat and people donating and supporting your channel. Are you trying to tell me it still isn't enough for a person who said that other people are broke and he make more money than all y'all, that you cannot arrange an itinerary to attend a consistent fight card? Let's just say Texas. I'm just talking about Texas. I know Texas big, but let's talk about in your hometown, because you was talking about driving and all that. Bro, when have you gotten in your car and got permission to go to a fight and cover a fight card and get a hotel room? Use that money that your listeners, they have faith in you. Why are they so stupid not to call you out on your bullshit to say, how many fights have you attended? If you're not attending these fights, what does it matter if Turki al-Sheikh is removing portions of boxing? That the only thing you from afar that you had access to, you mad because you don't have access to it right now. What is wrong with you, bro? When Turki al-Sheikh put on these fight cards in Saudi Arabia, being that you don't attend fights, you're still going to be in the same format you were before it happened. What are you mad about? This is the dumbest shit ever, bro. What are you concerned about? You're going to be watching a fight from afar, not in person. It doesn't affect you. It's transparent. You watch for years and years and years over here in the U.S., you didn't go to a fight. Now that you're saying that he's trying to monopolize, he's trying to be a proprietor, he's trying to take over, so to speak. Why are you mad? You're talking about us not being able to say anything, being censored over there in Saudi. Why are you mad? I never heard you in one media scrum at all. Where is your evidence that you was in a media scrum, bro? This shit is wild. You calling people stupid, dumbass, and all that. Bro, something wrong with you.
Bro, shit make me so mad, bro. And that's what you'll support over somebody that's trying to get it out the mud and actually bring revenue to the sport of boxing. Actually trying to build American-based stars here. Like Earl Spence Jr. Like motherfucking David Benavidez. Like Tank Davis, trying to build them up here so they can generate revenue here. So that when David Benavidez fights, you can actually go to his fight. When Earl Spence fight, we can actually go to his fight. When Tank Davis fight, we can actually go to his fight.
Speaking of Earl Spence, there has been such a debacle with that whole fiasco, right? I mean, you're up here advocating for one of your favorite fighters prior to July 29, 2023, and there has been some difficulty in him returning back to the ring. I would think that would be more important for you to try to iron that out first, because we do have electricity, but not in a literal sense. Just iron that process out. Why haven't you been able to get together and put the pieces so we can see that full-blown freaking finished product of Errol Spence, who he's going to fight next in 2025? It's official on BoxRec. You talk about Ring Magazine, you talk about all this other. When are we going to see BoxRec depicting Errol Spence's next fight, their KO? Please explain to us, when can we see that go down? That's what we want right there. You talk about all this business, the money. What is being extracted and removed from our accessibility? But you are not coming up with plans. What are the plans? What is the course of action? What is the POA, the plan of attack? How do you plan on completing the mission? What plan have you put on a spreadsheet to complete the mission? What is your step-by-step process to get Errol Spence back in the ring? You talk about how they're doing such great business to build and they got it out the mud. Why is Errol Spence still out there in life? Long hiatus, over a year. Heading to like 17 months now, right? Something like that, 15. Why hasn't he returned back to the ring? You keep mentioning Turki al-Sheikh putting on one fight card, right? That one fight card wasn't with Errol Spence. So you talk September, October, November, December. He's heading into the 17th month of being on a long hiatus, and you don't even say anything about it. You talk about how stupid and ignorant people is, but why haven't Errol Spence, through your guidance, through the power that's vested in you, why haven't you and your alliance came up with a plan to present to the PBC on how to get Errol Spence back into the ring? Explain that to us.
We can bias fight. We can throw fight parties like we've been doing for 40, 50, 60 years in this country, since boxing started coming on television. Still trying to have the product here. That's the one you shit on. That's the one you criticize. That's the one you root to fail. While praising the one that's trying to make him fail and trying to take everything that you've gotten and take it away from you. You praise him. And he don't even want you to have the ability to disagree with him. He don't even believe that you should have free speech. He don't even believe in freedom of the press. He don't believe in a YouTube channel like this where I can speak my mind authentically and give you my honest opinion. They don't even believe in that over there.
People, what is he talking about? No, matter of fact, what the fuck are you talking about? How can you bring up what's over there and you don't attend the fights over here? I will stand on it. I will continue to highlight your absence. Have you ever went and invested time and inserted yourself in a media scrum where they just fire off questions? Have you ever been there? Have you came over there and was able to ask the tough questions? I remember you talking real reckless to Shakur Stevenson, but I haven't seen you at one of his fights. Seriously. You claim you love and respect El Chinchecker, a.k.a. Gervonta Davis, but he's fought in Texas, right? I was at his Leo Santa Cruz fight doing the COVID restrictions. I didn't see you there. Maybe I missed you. Maybe you had your mask on and we walked right past each other and I didn't know it was you. But I was there. I was there for the Errol Spence Carlos Ocampo fight. Where were you? Errol Spence is your boy. I don't remember you being there. I don't remember any interviews. I don't remember any of that. But you're busy out here trying to convince the people that Turki al-Sheikh is just some type of thief. This has been festering on the horizon for quite some time. The economy is high for a reason. If you ask people what the economy was years ago, they're going to say, oh man, this costs less, right? Then the promoters here in the U.S. tell you how it's getting more expensive to put on fights. But yet you're trying to itemize it down and say, oh man, we're victims. I support the PBC. We're victims though. PBC, TGB is not the only promotion over here. You know that. When did you have so much damn confidence and joy in the ring? I mean, the shit you concerned about is absolutely stupid, man. Real talk. You're up here down talking people, being extremely belligerent, treating people like they're inferior subordinates. But yet you're talking about something you have not even taken one opportunity, one iota to change yourself. What action have you taken? You ain't taking no freaking action.
That's what you support though. because you short-minded, you looking at the short term, and you don't want to put the onus on what it logically needs to be put on, which is fighters need to quit trying to be overpaid because they feel like they a champion, or they feel like they fucking are undisputed, or they feel like they got multiple divisions. Great. Does anybody give a fuck when you fight? That's what you should be paid off of. Are people willing to spend their money so that you can earn money?
Are you willing to spend your money? Let's go to some receipts right quick. Let's go to some receipts right quick. Are you willing to spend your money? This is from your catalog, right? Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant undercard is trash. PBC can do better. That's from your catalog, right? So PBC isn't perfect, huh? So you call the undercard trash instead of actually, trying to attend the card and build it up. You know what I'm saying? And meet some people that you're calling trash on the undercard and meet them in person and see what type of individual they are, outside of just seeing their name on the undercard and lack familiarization. What about this? This you, right? Breaking. With Showtime leaving boxing, all boxing fans should want the PBC to join the zone over Amazon, right? So now all of a sudden you want PBC to join the zone, who is at the hilt of working with Turki al-Sheikh. You really want that to happen? You want him to be a part of something where you have Queensberry and a lot of other promotion joining, trying to make this work? Why? Why couldn't you speak to us earlier using these freaking synonyms, right? What happened with your foresight? Why weren't you wise enough? You know what I'm saying? Your lens of perception, why was it foggy? Why wasn't you prudent to stop this type of stuff when Showtime was leaving boxing? This is from your catalog. Let's go here. This is you. Breaking with Showtime. Leaving boxing, all boxing fans should want the PBC to join. The reason why I read that again is because they're with Amazon right now, and you're not even speaking on them not being allowed to have an annual budget. You're not speaking on any of this. Why? Why? You're not speaking on the struggles that we witnessed this year in 2024. What about I want Al Heyman and PBC at ESPN or the Zone? You can't be serious. You want them to be a part of the very same network that y'all criticized Crawford for being a part of, that was plantation-esque, that was still running, black fighters like they was on the plantation? The Zone going to Amazon Prime is all bad. Going to Amazon Prime is all bad, y'all. All bad. That's what he said. All bad. All bad. But guess what? You haven't been able to stop it. You don't even know what's projected with Amazon Prime when it comes to boxing. So why are you so upset about it? If you're not able to go in person and sit with these people, why aren't you going in there talking with these people so they can know who KO Boxing is? Go and show your face. All I'm hearing is you crying from afar. Sometimes all babies sound the same when you hear them crying from afar, but you can understand when it's an adult. You know what I'm saying? When the adult is bawling out and crying and throwing a tantrum, pouting, the shit sound different. And that's what I'm getting from you. What about this? Wow, PBC is washing the Zone in Top Rank. Boxing fans hate them the most thought. Why is that? Once again, wow, PBC is washing the Zone in Top Rank. So make up your mind. You wanted Al Heyman. You know what I'm saying? I want Al Heyman and PBC at ESPN or the Zone. That was a year ago. But 3 years ago, you say, wow, PBC is watching the Zone in Top Rank. Can you please make up your mind, sir? Do you want PBC to enhance what their footprint in boxing to be consistent? To be able to put on great fight cards for the fight fans to be interested in? What about this right here? Down bad. No one wants to sign Terrence Crawford, according to Eddie Hearns. PBC can save him. PBC can save Terrence Crawford, but yet they can't get Errol Spence a fight after Terrence Crawford beat his ass. How is that? How is that? Going on 17 months hiatus, but PBC can save Terrence Crawford, knowing that Terrence Crawford didn't have shit to do with Errol Spence not fighting a rematch. He had absolutely nothing to do. Terrence Crawford had nothing to do with Errol Spence not fighting a rematch. Yes, the damage that was inflicted, he had to go through the healing process. But Crawford didn't have anything to do with not owning up to his side. Dude, who gets credit with that? Why wasn't PBC able to help Errol Spence meet that rematch in December, supposedly in 2023? Why wasn't you able to go over there and convince and see what was going on? Why wasn't you not the first to break the news, bro? Y'all was busy talking about Terrence Crawford any other time. Jerron Ennis signed multi-fight deal with Showtime. Cap. Hopefully Terrence Crawford is watching. How did that work out? How did that whole thing work out? Hearing Bozy Ennis say they just have an agreement with Showtime. How did that whole deal work out? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you talk about so much rhetoric that was put out about Crawford not doing good business, but now you're mad about Turki al-Sheikh coming over here doing business, as if it affects your happy place. You was never happy, bro. You acting like what Turki al-Sheikh is doing is affecting your happy place, and clearly, if you look at some of the videos you have in your catalog, you haven't been happy prior to Turki al-Sheikh making these moves. That's what I can't understand about you niggas. You always talking about how much you're doing for the sport of boxing here on social media from the cubicle space, okay? From your cubicle space, you talk about how much you're doing for the sport. But you're not happy, though. Why aren't you happy? You look like the mean Santa right here. You got your arms crossed and showing your, you putting up your defensive mechanisms. You seem like you're mad. Why? Why? Let's get back to it, bro.
That's how you should be paid. In any walk of life, why should it be any different for a fighter? You get paid off production. In other sports, their sport is healthy enough so you can get paid off your stats because we got this big ass, gigantic fucking TV deal. So we can pay you this amount of money based on your stats because we getting bread over here if we the NBA, the NFL. If you compete in Wimbledon, we got this TV contract with ESPN where they view they got every round, different angles, this court on ESPN, this court on ESPN2, this court on ESPN3, ESPN Deportes is doing this shit in Spanish. We got this great TV deal for Wimbledon. So if you win Wimbledon, I can pay you this much money. If you win that motherfucker, if you get second place, you get this much money because we got this great fucking deal over there. Boxing don't fucking have that. So as a result, boxing needs to move differently to maybe one day you can get that. Which is, hey, bro, you want to get this fight? You got to eat. He got to eat. Network got to eat. Promoter got to eat. Your last fight, you did this at the live gate. Based on that, we can pay you this. Plus, if you sell the fight well, we'll put it on pay-per-view, and then you can earn extra money if you do well on the pay-per-view. Get out there and sell yourself. Sell the fuck out this fight.
Welcome to
And push that fighter to take something that's reasonable, something that's fair, something that's actually what he's worth based on the market, not his fucking feelings, you idiots. Y'all.
And that's funny because I remember, when Crawford Spence, you didn't have that same language. It was more so, Crawford take what Spence give you. And there was all this laughter going on. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if just a couple of years have passed by, maybe some months, that maturity is set in. I don't know, but I remember y'all over there talking about Crawford should just take what Spence give him. because he ain't did nothing. He ain't fought nobody. I remember when you all was all hanging on to that term, heavy lifting. All you cats, you calling people idiots, but when adults latch on to one term as if they don't know how to expand their vocab, it seems concerning to me. Real talk. Real talk. Y'all was saying Spence did all the heavy lifting, and that regardless of all the work and labor and achievements that Crawford has accomplished in his career, when it came down to this fight, he should just take what Spence give him. Ha 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 ha. He shouldn't look at no books if they trying to have them fight for net pay. So all of a sudden you want to get business orientated. You want to get down to business, right? That's what you want to do. You want to get down to business. Now it's time to show people that I'm focused. I'm concerned about Turki al-Sheikh coming over here, taking boxing over into his country. You want to feel some type of way about the revenue, even though you don't have a clue. You don't have a clue about what revenue he's making off the fights. Because one thing you're not going to be able to do is talk about pay-per-view numbers. Hey, are they going to talk about the gate over there in Riyadh season? No. That's why they mad. They was able to get away with a lot of this shit over here in the States. Always talking about gate. Always talking about pay-per-view numbers. And some of these big fights that's coming up, just like this one right here that I continue to post up. Let's see you talk about pay-per-view numbers, the gate. Let's see you talk about that like it matters. Y'all try to push the narrative that Turki al-Sheikh is losing money, but you still spending time talking about him. If the man is losing money, why is he purchasing the Ring magazine? Why is he scooping up material, resources that we have been using for years and years and years and years? Why was Turki al-Sheikh able to come over here and so easily access this? That's what you should be mad about, because you did absolutely nothing to stop it. What promotion is going to be able to put on a February 22nd card like this? Help me understand. Help me understand. What promotion over here could put on a championship card like this and you be able to break it down and tell your listeners how you contributed to making this fight happen, this fight card happen? How can you prove to us that we ever would have seen a fight of this magnitude happen over here in the U.S.? You're busy worried about Turki al-Sheikh, but you don't want to give him credit for this being a hell of a card. Championships all over the place. Just everywhere you look, championship, title. That's all you see. That's all you see, bro. Come on, man.
Y'all dumb. Bro, y'all are dumb. Well, you can't tell nobody when they should be paid. It's feel. If he feel like he worth more than this, then you can't tell him that, bro. You don't get to feel like you worth nothing. The market dictate how much you worth. And y'all loving on Turki because y'all think he's doing something positive by paying people above their market value and basically putting Golden Boy out of fucking business. They fighting on Thursdays. Looks like he's trying to see what he can do with Top Rank. I think Bob is resistant to him, but we'll see how the Top Rank shit play out. And then knowing when he gets control over all that shit, it's going to be fuck you, fuck you, bring your ass to Saudi Arabia if you want to fight, fuck American boxing, then you're going to be crying.
I think the only one really crying right now is you, because we can hear it in your voice. You know, you're just another egomaniac on here, a YouTube Central narcissist that's trying to convince the people that tune in to you that what you're saying makes sense. You haven't collectively gathered enough people to put y'all minds together to change the sport over here in the U.S. footprint. You're not an honorable mention, bro. You should really understand where I'm coming from with this. This is not in no malicious intent. I'm intent. I'm just saying the intent with intent. Your intent is to convince the people that Turkey has ulterior motives when we're able to see fights that we're not sure we would have seen over here in the US. But you're mad because he's gaining traction and PBC isn't. You're advocating for someone that is unseen. At least Turki al-Sheikh is a person that's out in the public, and we see him. We see him in pictures. You know what I'm saying? What Turki al-Sheikh is doing is basically putting on fights. Yes, a lot of these big fights are going on the grounds of Saudi Arabia. But guess what? Hasn't the U.S. been in the sport of boxing long enough? Don't they have history of some big fights? Some of the big fights has been in foreign countries, right? Some of the big fights we talk about in history been in big countries. I know you weren't, supposedly old enough at that time, because it'll look strange you going up there in a stroller. But some of the biggest fights in history was in foreign countries. So what did you do to extend your scope way out, like you Jacques Cousteau? What did you do? Where is it? How far back did you believe that you was going to be a part of boxing to talk this talk, to call people idiots and stupid when you don't cover fights outside your 3x3 cubicle? Come on. Don't you want to get out, spread your wings a little bit so you won't bump into the wall or anything, or hurt your funny bone and, hitting it off the table? Don't you want to see what it's like to go to a fight week so people can see you in person and say, oh, man, there goes so-and-so right there. He's actually at a fight. Wow. I mean, don't you want to see the expressions on their face when they look at you and say, is that who I think it is? Wow. Wow. Don't you want to hear that? Kind of sounding like a jaguar. Wow. Wow. Like we looking at National Geographic. Don't you want to see that? Come on, bro. I know you want to see that, man. I know you want to hear them call your name and say, bro, you got a credential? That's why I had to put this up here. Come on, man. You had every opportunity to reach out to the same promotion that you supporting and advocating for, and you didn't do it. Where's your media credential, man? Huh? You want to spew this propaganda about what fans ain't doing. How are you not out there, boots on the ground, trying to make changes? Man, get out of here. Get out of here. Let's continue.
But all the warning signs are there if you fucking pay attention. Look at the way he treated Tim Tszyu. Look at the way he treated Canelo. Look at the way he treats anyone that opposes him. Look at where he come from. You don't get that type of power in Saudi Arabia unless you believe what the regime believes. If you don't believe what the crown prince or whatever the fuck he is over there, if you don't believe what he believe in, they not letting you head $1 trillion fucking fund. Goofballs. Y'all are idiots, bro. If you don't believe that people should have no rights, if you don't believe that women are less than, if you don't believe that media need to do whatever the fuck the country tell them to do and shouldn't have no thoughts of their own, if you don't believe in basic human rights, then you're not getting what the power that he got. He believe like they believe. So y'all think he just, let me give this black American fighter money out the kindness of my heart. Let me overplay this. Let me overpay this UK heavyweight out the kindness of my heart. I'm just doing this because I love the sport. Let me buy Ring Magazine out of the kindness of my heart. Let me buy the WBA out of the kindness of my heart. Let me get the WBC out of the kindness of my heart. I'm just being kind because I love the sport. And I'm trying to do what's great for the sport. No, stupid. He's trying to do what's great for fucking Saudi Arabia. And you, watching this fucking video, need to start pushing for what is great for America.
We had this saying in the military, do as I say. You know what I'm saying? If you, look, do as I say, as I do. Set the example. You're doing a lot of finger pointing and projecting authority. You're delegating. And it's easy for you to do that in that space. Why? Because you don't have nobody around you that's going to actively carry out what you want, because they confused. They don't know what you want. You can't just sit there and finger point and delegate authority about what they should be doing in this situation. You're really giving Turki al-Sheikh the power that he already has. By you coming over here sounding like you're mad just shows that you wasn't proactive. You was reactive to this entire situation. And in the process of being reactive, you still don't seem like you have a plan to make it better over here in the U.S. How are you going to influence these changes? How are you going to influence the changes? You said he only put on one card over here. So what are you doing for the cards that's going to be put on over here? I would have liked to hear your insight on why so many fighters have been allowed to fight on other promotions from PBC. I would have liked to hear that you don't like, Amazon Prime so much, what you do to try to persuade change. Since they are absolutely with Prime, do you have any insight on future fights? Because I'm giving you an opportunity to be proactive on this. Do you know any future fights that's going on coming up with PBC? Do you know the fight schedule? Like, if you guys are out here protesting so heavy, at least give us some exclusive. You know what I'm saying? At least give us some exclusive info that we can go with. Like, you can't give us a projected timeline on PBC putting out some big fights. I'm talking about the very same dude that you mad at. This has already been put out. This is already out. February 22nd, this is already out on press. Now, of course, there may be some changes here and there, but I'm saying this is already out, yo. So I'm saying, can't you give us some information ahead of time if you are here protesting for the Grand Poobah?
Dummy. Which is pushing American promoters and American boxers to fight here. Actually buying their fights and going to their fights and supporting them.
I'm glad you said that, supporting American. Now it's American. Okay, somebody give that man a flag so he, one for both hands, so he can kind of do his Don King and wave the American flags and show his loyalty. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Show his allegiance. It's nothing like a fake patriot. Real talk. So let's briefly talk about that. So at the end of the day, you want to talk about the U.S. footprint, right? But as I go back, I remember you bragging so heavily that PVC, when it came down to big fights, it's beneficial for them, for this fighter to fight that fighter, because they signed with PBC. It's beneficial for them to fight that because it makes more sense money-wise. In-house fights, in-house fights, in-house fights. That's what y'all was talking about over and over again. Every time you turn around, in-house fights. Crawford can't get in there. He need to come sign with the PBC to have in-house fights. That's the benefit. And come to find out, it wasn't just that easy. It wasn't a bed of roses. So if you're talking about PBC, all of a sudden now working with other promoters, that wasn't your language a couple of years ago. Your language wasn't for PBC to do business with Top Rank. I guess you're trying to slide that in there and think a person like me don't pay attention. But that wasn't your language. That wasn't the direction that you was going in a couple of years ago. All y'all was doing was hyping it up and laughing and talking about in-house fights and how it benefit freaking Al Heyman to have in-house fights, and the fighters assigned to him this and this division. And I remember when y'all laughing so heavily as to say Crawford was being iced out. He was being frozen out of the situation because he's not with PBC, and Al Heyman is going to show Crawford. He's not with PBC. He refused to sign with PBC. He's this, he's that. PBC is smart because they have an in-house fights. What was all this talk to do business with other promoters when all y'all was talking about is the other side of the street. You remember that, KO? Man, y'all was up here laughing and continue to talk about the other side of the street. Just like you just learned that D comes after C and your AB, you know what I'm saying? You just learned E. And then you just found out the element of P actually meant something. Y'all was up here talking the other side of the street. But now all of a sudden we should have a union. There should be an internal alliance to the U.S. footprint, all because Turki al-Sheikh has made his presence known. No. You're trying to put it off as if he's a dictator. We don't care what he has going on in his country. But it's not like he came over here and he hasn't shown any signs of wanting to work with other promotions. He's absolutely shown. It was a card when they showed all the other promoters that he was working with that had fighters on the card. You know, the only one that was missing was PBC at that time. I think you really need to do your research just like I do. You need to really do a little bit more research, bro. Because you got the herd mentality. You think you actually the shepherd. But you're up here corralling a bunch of dummies that's willing to listen to you without fact checking your shit. That to me is extremely concerning when it comes to bona fide legitimate boxing fans. You and your people was talking about the other side of the street. You all was continuously putting out the rhetoric that Al Heyman is doing in-house fights and that was beneficial to him. That's how he keeps the money in-house. You didn't care about him freaking going over there co-promoting with other promotions consistently. Y'all was talking about the other side of the street. It was funny. It was real funny. You know what I'm saying? Y'all had a ball laughing about that. Clear cut, straight to the point. Crawford's on the other side of the street. That's why he's getting frozen out. He's stupid. He don't know how to do boxing business. When it comes to boxing business, that what's count when it comes to PBC. And I say to myself, Kel, why couldn't you have prevented the situation that you're complaining about? If you say you wanted him to go to the zone, why is he with Prime? Why couldn't you come up with an entire freaking breakdown as to how to prevent that from happening? Why did he go with Amazon Prime? If you got a problem with it, why couldn't you stop it? You couldn't attend at least 1 or 2 fights and try to talk with the CEO? You couldn't go there and talk to Tom Brown and give him, a breakdown of what your thoughts is? You couldn't do that? I mean, you're talking about, you're up here criticizing black fans, but it's been publicly clear for quite some time that allegedly the Grand Poobah Al Heyman does not like black on black fighters fighting each other. He doesn't like that. I know you've heard that before. I know you've heard that. Seriously. I know you've heard that. Yeah, you can bring up Sean Porter and Errol Spence all you want, but yeah, Sean Porter had a belt he just won in fighting for the vacant WBC with Danny Garcia. Yeah, that had to happen. Oh, Yardenis Ugas is Cuban. Yeah, he had to get that belt. Oh, in order for him to get undisputed, you know what I'm saying? And Crawford had to sign over there, right? A person that said he didn't want nobody else to touch it caused the fight to be delayed from 22 to 23. But goddamn it, we all seen what happened.
Why the fuck, as an American fight fan, would you want Top Rank under the zone dealing with UK Matchroom, UK Queensberry? Golden Boy got 4 fucking fighters worth of damn. Virgil Ortiz, Zerto Ramirez, William Zepeda, Ryan Garcia, and perhaps Floyd Schofield. He fighting Shakur. We'll say they got 5. They got 5 fighters worth of damn. Why would you want Top Rank over there instead of Top Rank with Premier Boxing Champions to strengthen fucking American boxing?
Wow. I'm trying so hard to figure, is there any type of recreational chemicals that's involved in this rant? Because once again, I have to go back. Those of you that drive vehicles with rear window wipers. Was that the same language when they was talking about Top Rank being the plantation, Top Rank Toby, making Crawford look like he was a slave over there, the barbarian? All of a sudden, you're reacting to changes being made and you want to call for unity? That's not the way it happens, brother. I can see you really haven't led nothing within any occupation you might consider yourself to be important in. Your method of employment, I don't see you as someone who's basically making calls, who's in charge. Because now all of a sudden, when the extreme has happened, this is the extreme. Turki al-Sheikh through the extreme now. We're talking about no talk of this leading up to July 29, 2023. But all of a sudden, it has happened. And boxing has changed. And now he wants a union between Top Rank and PBC. Not understanding that they have already co-promoted before. Right? It's already happened. But now all of a sudden you want to talk about a union? Two different networks? How does that happen? How does that happen? The crazy part about it, they were saying the same thing about Eddie Hearn. I remember when y'all was talking about Eddie Hearns when the zone was kicking off, trying to get off the lunch pad. And they say Eddie Hearns would not have success over here. You know what I'm saying? Al Heyman, and Bob Aaron run boxing over here in the U.S. He's not going to be able to make nothing. And the zone is still kicking with the support of Turki al-Sheikh, who has an amazing freaking budget. He has an amazing budget. I think a lot of y'all was swinging and missing. Y'all never should have been at bat. Never. You can't say, in 1 second, in one breath, I'm talking about Top Rank potentially being without a network in the early part of 2025. As if to say, that's the end of Top Rank. They're losing. ESPN is going about their business. So what sense are you trying to make, brother? It's just doesn't make any sense for the intelligence of these fight fans, whether they're casual or hardcores. They gotta have some type of reservoir of intelligence that they go to, especially when they're receiving information. And this right here is like a virus. Some of this, a lot of shit that you talking, it's like a virus, bro. It would have to take a special needs casual boxing fans. I'm being honest, to not receive your information as recyclable trash. What you're trying to do based off what you were saying a couple of years ago, and you're trying to get some type of alliance established with Top Rank and PBC, bro, get the fuck out of here.
Top Rank and PBC under the same fucking network. You only want Top Rank on the zone because you want the death of the only American promotional company and PBC that's telling Turkey, we can work together, but I'm not bending my knees to them. That's the one you want to fail. That's the one you root against. That's the one you make up narratives and lie. Oh, they broke. Oh, damn, they put on the fight anyway. Oh, they got a loan. They got a loan. Oh, Tank Davis is mad because they broke. They ain't got no money to pay him. Oh, they can't even book a venue. PBC is in shambles and shit. They in shambles when they got a network deal coming up, but Top Rank is doing just fine. ESPN is booting them out the door in the middle of the fucking year. They ain't announced the new deal yet. But y'all act like that company is very, very fucking healthy, all because they fucking with Turkey. Because you want to support this Saudi Arabian.
Energy companies don't want you to know about this simple trick to warm your home.
dictator who believes in dictatorship, and you think he come into boxing to make it good for you as an American fight fan or as a UK fight fan. You think he's going to be looking out for your best interest. You think he's going to get control of the sport and then put on fights in your home country when he don't have to. You think he's going to get control of the sport and then continue to overpay fighters when he don't have to. You think he's going to get control of the sport and feel like he got to be fair to his star fighters when he doesn't have to. He's only doing this shit right now because he has to, because there's some resistance, because there's some competition for him.
What's the resistance? When you have absolutely all the heavy hitters damn near who's willing to affiliate, what is the resistance, so to speak? Are you talking about turbulence when people are taking flights over there to Saudi? I mean, because who has ever seen that many legends in one place and everybody seems so happy? You don't hear people complain about going over there, staying in the Motel 6, none of that. Where's the resistance, bro? Some of the most legendary frames that you can see with some of the legends of boxing. You might have been too young to see that. But, I mean, they're able to go over there and be a part of this Saudi, and they're saying to themselves, hell yeah, I support it. Heck yeah, I support it. Man, you're talking propaganda there, KO. It's absurd how delirious that you sound. You're up here acting like you're part of some type of Antifa movement. You're acting like this is the dang pandemic in 2020. And even then, I haven't seen any pictures of you protesting, out there, anything, to help us get back to reality. You speak of the economy and all that. You can't speak of the economy. The economy is much more expensive to put on freaking fights now, which have ultimately affected some of these promoters that's over here on the footprint. So where are you getting all this information? All of a sudden, when Crawford was top ranked, y'all didn't want to touch it. He wasn't nobody. But now you want Top Rank to join forces with Al Heyman, when Al Heyman truly at one point in time, him and Bob Arum was not on good standing with one another. But in recent years, they have co-promoted. But we do remember how it was said that Al Heyman didn't want nobody else touching one of the biggest fights in boxing. So that delayed it several more months, and Showtime was able to intervene. But you still was happy because Al Heyman was getting his percentage. Okay, as long as he get his percentage. That's why you all was up here echoing the sentiment that in-house fights mattered most to you all and not the big fights if a fighter wasn't signed to PBC. If they was outside on the other side of the street, y'all kept on using that same label, other side of the street. It's not making no boxing sense. Why would Al Heyman go outside and he has these fighters right here? He has the whole division on lock. Why would he go outside, this, that, and the other? I mean, come on, bro. You have to really listen to yourself, man. When you come down, sober up. I mean, come on, bro. You're going to look back at this and say, damn, I need to do some edits. What was I thinking?
If you're going to root, the only people that should be rooting for Saudi Arabia to monopolize boxing is fight fans who live in Saudi Arabia. Y'all are dumb, bro. The only people that should be like, yeah, I want Turkey to run this shit and I want him to get control of everybody, take this shit back to Saudi Arabia, let's get it popping, are people that are fight fans that are from Saudi Arabia. They should be rooting for that shit. But if you're an American fight fan and you based in America and you want the health of the sport in America, you should be rooting for guys like Bob Arum and Al Heyman to come together.
Wow. I don't know, man. I think some psychedelics are really active right now, because here you have KO trying to speak positive about Bob Arum. Wow, who would have thought that? I, who would have thought that we would hear him talk positive about Bob Arum? Now all of a sudden you want to jump on We United and it feels so good. Man, get out of here. Now all of a sudden you want Bob Arum to join forces with Al Heyman, who enjoys in-house fights? Why? Why is that important? Why is that a necessity? Bro, what's wrong with you? Do you need a checkup, an end of the year checkup? What the fuck is going on with you, man? Why would you put this propaganda out here so close, while we deep in the holidays? Why would you do that shit? It makes no sense. It makes you seem like something else is going on that we should be concerned about. You know what I'm saying? What you're saying is not the same energy you had a couple of years ago. You could give a damn about freaking Bob Arum. It's all in your catalog, bro. Now that Crawford has since moved on, he's in another division. You all can't continue to clout chase his name comparable to Spence, linking him up with Spence. Now you're bored, and now you need another objective. To lie on Turki al-Sheikh, talking about he's losing money, and then turn around and say, oh, he doesn't care about the American people. You know who's projecting discrimination, right? Because obviously Turki al-Sheikh is working with all races and creed, right? You the one seeming like you prejudiced. You seeming like you disgruntled. You acting like you really racist towards them. You keep talking about how the man do in his country and you ain't been to the country. I'm going to be honest. I don't think you've been out of Texas in a long time, bro. I don't think you've gotten that pass to get out of Texas. And then the other disturbing part of it is that you're talking about monopolizing boxing and you're calling people dumb, stupid, ignorant, and all that. But people can say the same thing about you not attending fights. Why haven't you attended fights? Where are you, man? Why haven't you attended fights? What's going on? Where's your media credentials? Why do you just continue to drown in complacency next to the man in the window? You know what I'm saying? How many times have you turned around and looked out those blinds and say, you know what? I want to know what it's like to go to a fight. I want to know what it's like to be under the bright lights. I want to know what it's like to be able to be caught on camera, have your brand on camera. I want to know what it's like for somebody to say, hey, KO, we saw you on TV, man. No. We saw you on YouTube. Don't you want to know what it's like to go to a weigh-in? To be able to talk to the fighters after weigh-in and get a little bit more understanding of who they are as an individual. So when you talk about them, you can say, hey, I met them. You can lay claim. You say, I met them in person. Good people. Before that, I thought, I ain't really know that person. But now you have an understanding. That's what going to fights mean to the media channels that actually attend fights, the credential holders. That's why we go there. You know what I'm saying? To meet and be able to understand and support the promotion. You from afar, you talk about the promotion. You talk about others who are not supporting it when you yourself is not supporting it. And you know what that's called, KO, right? Bullshit.
Together, you should be rooting for Al Heyman and PBC to put on great events, for their events to do well, for the other promoters to take their fights. You should be pissed off if Tank doesn't fight Lamont Roach on March 1st. You should be pissed off that Lomachenko ducked him. You should be pissed off that Shakur Stevenson is fighting in fucking Saudi Arabia. You should be pissed off that Devin Haney would rather fight in Saudi Arabia instead of on pay-per-view in fucking America.
Oh, for real, KO? You actually had the nerve to bring up Shakur Stevenson when you was the same one just talking to that young warrior recklessly online? Now you concerned about where he's fighting? If you was concerned about where he was fighting, you should have had a lot more etiquette than you did when you had the opportunity to even talk to a 3 division champion and a silver medal Olympian. When you had the opportunity to address that young man who has a kid and you know, and everything, and a family, you talked to him like he was trash. You talked to that man like he was a bum, like he was just another fighter. But now you concerned about, oh, we should feel some type of way because he want to get money over there. Isn't boxing about a business? Right? And within that business, we talk about monetary gain when it comes to the fight, earning wages, right? Earning wages like you earn wages with your super chats, right? You say you make money more than all of us, but yet it's very contradicting to hear you talk about who's not supporting promotions in America when you don't support going to the fight from the same donations that your listeners and supporters give you just to consistently go to fights and get credentialed so you can be there and you can talk to these fighters in person. You refuse to do it. Man, this is the highest level of propaganda. You're speaking fallacies at the end of the day. You want to talk about onuses, putting out rhetoric to the people. That is malicious you're placing on them. That is what they don't deserve, their KO. They don't deserve this, what you're talking about.
Those things should piss you off. But instead, y'all cap for them. And it's because you don't buy fights. And it's because you're not an American. Maybe you're not an American fight channel that's pushing the sport forward. And you're an American channel right now that's just pushing your favorite fighter forward. So if you're an American channel and you're just pushing Devin Haney forward, of course, you're going to do whatever the fuck Devin Haney. Oh, Devin Haney, he can do no wrong. Fuck that deal. He can do no wrong. That's a bad deal. He got any other deals on the table? No, but that's a bad deal. Why? Because Bill Haney. So you'd rather watch T.O. and Devin not fight at all than watch T.O. and Devin fight because Devin took a reasonable offer, bet on himself, and whooped T.O. ass.
Bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Bro, what in the hell are you talking about? I just had to ask that question. What in the hell are you talking about?
Or lost to him, whatever. Now we're not getting to fight at all. And it's fucking Turkey fault. And don't none of you want to fucking talk about it. Because he offered Devin something that he's not fucking worth. How the fuck are you worth $5 million flat? And you only had somebody bid on your fight for $2.42 million total. Nigga, that's half. How are you worth $5 million flat? Make that shit make sense. He turned down the fight because he think Turkey got something better for him. Because he's selling you motherfuckers a pipe dream.
He's selling them a pipe dream. But if some of these guys are getting a guaranteed money that they believe would have been better than they would have gotten over here in the U.S. footprint. Boxing is a business. Boxing spreads out globally. It's been a global sport forever and a day. So if you're going to say, okay, in one breath, well, they could have got the gate and all the other bullshit I've been hearing, you don't know. You don't go to fights. You're just on the outside. You're waiting on the tweets to come out. That's your whole registry. You're waiting on tweets from somebody else. You're not retrieving information. What you're doing is called cronyism. You understand me, KO? Cronyism. You know what I'm saying? You believe you're in a position of authority without proper regard of qualifications. You're not qualified, bro. You're not qualified to speak so heavily and so aggressively on Turki al-Sheikh because he's the one with his team that's making moves. And obviously those moves have pissed you off to come over here and talk crazy about shit that don't make sense. Seriously, that is what I see. That is what I hear. You're just rambling on and talking and pouting and throwing a tantrum. But you have not presented any type of avenues, any type of suggestions on how you plan on changing it. All you're doing is talk about certain actions that you don't agree with and that the state of affairs on it actually playing out in front of you. You haven't shown us yet. You haven't verbally been descriptive on how you plan to change that. You on here whining and crying to the people just because you see it playing out. How are you going to change and stop Turki al-Sheikh from doing what he's doing? That's my like, how are you going to change it though in 2025? What input can you provide for the GP? Help the GP understand. You calling people ignorant, stupid, and dumb and all that. But what is your plan? What input can you provide for the GP, the general public, on changing it? Because right now you're just yelling and screaming and talking down on people.
Sad, bro. Absolutely sad. So keep supporting that motherfucker. When he take this fucking sport from you, when he take the fight game from you and you got to run around this bitch watching, deciding whether or not you're going to watch Colorado football or Alabama football or a fight at 4 p.m. when you got to decide that shit. When channels like mine, because I'm telling y'all, bro, I'm not finna be, listen to me and listen good. I'm not covering a sport that's only based in Saudi Arabia, bro. I'm not doing it. I care about boxing as a whole. Nobody covers more boxing than me, but I'm an American fight.
Nobody covers more boxing than you. And see, that's why I say it's something else that's influencing, something else is in your brains that's altering your sense of thinking. You know what I'm saying? We've heard you sit up here and excoriate people, speak down to them, and now you're declaring that no one covers boxing like you. That's what you want them to believe. But yet you have people that attend fights. You have so many content creators that absolutely cover more boxing than you. And you want to give people the impression that just because you're in the cubicle, the man in the box next to the window, you want to say that's all you need to make change in boxing is that space, that common area that you in. That's all you need. You don't have to stand up and head towards a different destination to support Fight Week for these promotions that you talk about, that you love so dearly. Man, you got to show us something. You got to do more than just running your motherfucking gums. You got to do more, bro. You're not doing anything besides talking. You ain't walking. You talking. You ain't walking into a hotel room, checking in, and then getting in a freaking Uber or whatever and going to motherfucking cover an open workout, or cover a presser and interview the fighters. You're not doing that. So that excludes you from being taken seriously. I'm just telling you straight up. You know, maybe Santa can tell your dumb ass. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Santa can give you some insight. Okay, I'm pretty sure he's going to be working tirelessly for the presents he wasn't able to deliver, because he probably been driving by your shit trying to contemplate, goddamn it, should I just dump this shit in goddamn open field behind motherfucking Kmart and let them figure it out? He might have saw you up here talking that. He said, no, there's no way I can do that. I can't make this delivery.
I'm an American boxing fan. I want the sport to be big here. I'm trying to grow it here. And I'm going to support anybody that's trying to do the same fucking thing, bro.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
So get off y'all fucking knees and wake up. Ladies, he don't want you to have no rights. Go ahead and support him anyway. Fight fans, he don't believe that you should have any opposition to him. Media members, guess what? All them press passes you getting? Your ability to speak freely and criticize fighters and criticize promoters but still get credentials to their event, when he get control of that motherfucker, them days is gone, homeboy.
I wonder, is he talking about himself? Is he gonna have some type of restrictions or rules in place when you sit in your cubicle space on what you can say and can't say. I wonder, does this include you, brother? I'm laughing hysterically. I wonder, does it include you? Because you are the main one who be talking crazy to these fighters, man. You be talking crazy to these fighters because you know you don't have permission to leave and go cover a fight. So you feel like, well, I'm never going to see that person face to face. So therefore, I'm going to continue to talk my shit. I'm going to just drop F-bombs when F-bombs isn't needed. You know, I'm just going to continue to sit up here and just say some dumb shit and see how the people take it. You want to advocate for Bob Arum and freaking Al Heyman now all of a sudden. Isn't that a turnaround? Come on, bro. There's no way you can be advocating for Top Rank and Al Heyman. No, not with all the criticism you gave Top Rank. Come on. I didn't even go there. With all the criticism you gave Top Rank, bro, and you really want to talk about they should damn form an alliance to save U.S. boxing so you can criticize the boxers that's under their promotion? Isn't that what you was doing? Y'all was saying Bob Arum didn't like black fighters? Huh? I don't know. I'm getting kind of confused because T.O. said they can keep black fighters. That's what T.O. said. While y'all was out here before that talking about Bob Arum didn't like black fighters. I mean, which one is it? Y'all twirling these umbrellas in the rain and shit. Which one is it, man? Because y'all always walking, you know, y'all got that bad juju surrounding y'all. You know how you see them cartoons and people walking with clouds over their head and it's raining? That's how it is, you dudes. You're just sitting in there and you talk about boxing and talk about no one's covering the sport as much as you. But then you turn around and always seem like you disgruntled, agitated, unhappy, mad. You're never happy. What's wrong with you, bro? The shit you talking about, Turki al-Sheikh, from your isn't going to change anything. Period. And that's why I'm going to leave it. I just had to come over here and goddamn and give some Christmas spirit and remind you all what it's like to basically see someone that doesn't know what proactiveness sound like in an open-ended sport like boxing. I can see if you was actually donating your time and money to go up here and try to make changes. And people saw you as an advocate, but that's not the case. You're just a talker. You're just a freaking talker. That's all you do, bro. It's talk. Let me get to the freaking chat, man. Hey, shout out to Dodge J with the $10 super chat on deck. Salute to you, big dog. I appreciate you. Let me go over here to the other super chat, though. Once again, shout out to Dodge J, man. I appreciate you with the donation to the channel. You know what I'm saying? $10 on deck. One love to you. Happy holidays to you and the fam. Salute for the work you put in, talking logical boxing. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. You know how it is. Shout out to the News by Shaw News Sauce Experience, Team Tucker official on deck in the building. One love to you, brother. Thanks for the $20 donation in the super chat, the WCS. Happy holidays. Salute, thanks for planting the seed. Now my seeds workers all over the game. MSG, photography, publishing work. Yeah, man. I mean, you know, I can see if he actually had those moments. You know what I'm saying? I can see if he actually had the moments to talk about. But I haven't seen KO. I haven't seen 86 nothing on any broadcast. But all of a sudden, he wants to form a coalition. Not to mention all the freaking former videos of him dogging the shit out of Top Rank. Especially before Crawford and Spence ever fought. He was dogging the crap. They was talking about how Bob Arum and him did this right. He can't do that. And he said he lost this money. And Terrence Crawford suing Top Rank. That was that guy. That was that guy. You know what I'm saying? That was him. Don't get it twisted. That was that guy, bro. He was the one that was giving you that type of energy. And what the hell he talking about now? He's on this Turki al-Sheikh hate smear campaign just like they did Crawford. Man, get the fuck out of here. Ain't nobody trying to hear that bullshit you talking. Nobody's trying to hear that dumbass shit. The way you talk to people and call them dumb, bro, what's wrong with you, man? Now, it's not about boxing. It's all about you needing help. Your mentation has decreased. Real talk. It's people talk about debate. Nigga, you need to stop debating. You need to take some time off, reset, and do some research and find your inner self and goddamn detox. You need a motherfucking detox, nigga. You worried about the wrong thing that you didn't even proactively plan to change a couple of years ago. You had no conversation about seeing this play out the way Showtime was about to leave. All y'all was doing before July 29th is talking about what Top Rank ain't done. Bud did this wrong. Bud did that. Top Rank moved him wrong. Bud moving funny. All this shit. He's bad for business. He ain't bringing butts to the seats. Spence doing all the heavy lifting. He's the A side. He should just give Crawford what he want. Crawford should take what he want. Crawford should go over there and bow at the damn feet of Al Heyman. Crawford's on the investigation. Trying to put all these lies out there when Crawford was at Top Rank, who y'all say that was the plantation. Y'all call that man Top Rank Toby and was laughing. All the criticism. All the energy you put into Crawford, but you mad about a foreign entity going over here and basically making fight cards still? Not only that, but you're making it seem like he didn't allow anyone else to participate. That's not true. He actually allows other promotions to get involved and be a part of this, and they're willing. The big dogs, the shakers and movers, the OGs, they're willing to affiliate themselves with Riyadh Season. But you cheerleading with one pom-pom in the back, no, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. Nobody's listening, bro. Nobody's listening to you. You just trying to find something to hate on. Y'all countless upon countless weeks, months, hating on Crawford before the July 29th. Then he beat Spence ass. You act like you coming to your senses and then go back to straight hate. You couldn't see what Turki al-Sheikh was going to do. You didn't have any concerns that Showtime was leaving. You couldn't foresee this. Maybe you should have took less time trying to be negative with your American fighters. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you should work on etiquette. Because the way you was over there talking so greasy and slimy to Shakur Stevenson, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Do he not respect U.S. Olympians? But you up here dropping F-bombs and doing this and talking. What's wrong with you niggas who think you put on a hoodie and you the king of all kings? Nigga, you ain't Nino Brown. That was a movie. You ain't changing shit except the thumbnails in this bitch. That's the only thing you changing. Thumbnails, bro. You a thumbnail changing nigga. That's all you are. You ain't changing shit in boxing. But salute to those who attended and listened in, tuned in. I appreciate you. Let me get to some of these freaking chats, man. And once again, shout out to Jay. Shout out to Shaw News. Thanks for your donations. One love. Appreciate everybody. Happy holiday for those who tuned in. Let me remove this fact because he ain't proactive. He ain't proactive. He used to push the line that PBC didn't need to do business with the others. That is, it was the competition. Man, talk about it, man. God damn. Man, talk about it, bro. It's too many receipts out there that say you sounding crazy right now. Nobody's taking this fictitious information serious. It's frivolous listening to this nigga talk. Frivolous, straight up frivolous, bro. You want to act like you such a Al Heyman advocate. You protest during snow, sleet, rain. Come on, man. Shout out to Toby in the building. Salute to you, man. I see you on deck. 918 on deck. What's good? Band on deck. The boy who cried wolf ranting about nothing. Hey, man, talk your talk, man. And this is all about Al Heyman and the PBC drowning. The only thing the man cares about is PBC. He doesn't give a damn about boxing. Man, talk that talk, bro. Let him know, man. Let the echo be heard loud and clear. Up close and to afar, bro. Come on, man. You crazy, man. Fuck you talking about, nigga. He king online crash dummy. Most successful views. My 8-year-old daughter got more stats and experience than him. But he called me unsuccessful. My kids have media catalogs now. Hey, man, sometimes they say you look at people that's swerving all over the road, man. You just hit the brake and slow down just a little bit. Let them crash and then just slowly creep palm. You know what I'm saying? Don't even look in the rearview mirror. They'll be all right. OG Bruce Gas Boxing Jazz and more. What's good? Never heard of the Rumble in the Jungle or the Thrill in Manila? Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Some of the best have been in other countries, yo. Both of these historic fights were fought in oppressive regimes. Talk to them. The window to the future. Bruce Gas, talk to him, man. What are you talking about? What is this dude talking about, man? Turki al-Sheikh. Y'all gonna let him. Bro, do you even know about your boxing history? Do you even have any idea about your boxing history? We have had plenty of times, even what Bruce talking about up to now. We've had plenty of time to attempt to have some type of alliance and work together, but just unfortunately, boxing promoters don't do that. They have different networks, different budgets, and that's been that way for quite some time, yo. Arnold Brown in the building. What's good? What's good? Great point, man. Great point. Their motive is showing off. Riyadh for tourists and tourism. Riyadh season is a festival of sports, arts, film, music, and culture. Not just boxing. Do your research, okay? Before y'all call others dumb. Hey, man, talk to them. Let them know, man. Loud and clear. There's nothing wrong with being vociferous. You know what I'm saying? Turn the volume up, goddammit. Hottest chat in the MF and game. You calling people dumb, stupid, and ignorant. Bro, what is wrong with you, man? The fact is, nobody asked the PBC for any of the fights they gave us this year. Whether it's made sense or not, PBC making KO look crazy. God damn. Talk that shit, man. Come on, bro. KO, I didn't even call you knockdown one time, man. Do you hear what the chat is saying? Man, these are cats that think for themselves, man. It's the difference between dealing with followers and those sheeps that's over there that just want to get over there and argue and don't hold you accountable for the nonsense, bro. Turki just happened to be a huge boxing fan. That's why he's been pushing boxing. Why would somebody who don't attend fights? I'm not saying you don't have the right, right? You have the right. Okay, we have a constitution. We have our share of freedom, right? But why is this guy so wrapped up in being mad as if Turki al-Sheikh did something directly to affect PBC's process? Did he try to put a wedge in them signing with Prime? Clearly, he has videos out there that's talking about, oh, I'd rather him sign with his own instead of Prime. What? You want what? Come on, man. Just look at the events the Turki sponsored versus PBC. Case closed. Man, you ain't never lied, man. You ain't never lied, man. I gotta turn this color to bread. I gotta, turn that off that soft blue to red. God damn it. Shit. Hey, it's a red light at the intersection. God damn it. Stop and listen. You understand me, KO? Stop and listen. I know you filming right now. You know what I'm saying? It's Christmas. You can't get on here and goddamn like you always do. Hey man, he ain't. Hey, I get it, bro. I get it, but I'm making clear sense. The chat, they're making clear sense, concise responses. If you were saying something that someone can agree with, it would be spoken on the way it's supposed to. It would be clear. But some of the shit you talking about, like, you gotta scratch your head, boy, slap yourself. Like, man, what are you saying exactly? Turki al-Sheikh, you trying to make it seem like he the enemy? I mean, that February 22nd card right now is the heaviest in the last 3 to 4 years, in my opinion. YouTube boxing promotion management advisor matchmaker. Dude is an online cornball. Man, he's more than that, bro. Something else ain't right. These receipts prove it all about PBC in his mind. PBC can save him. And what does that have to do with boxing? Dude has to be on the payroll. It's clear. So Ben, if he's on the payroll, my next question is why? What do they have you on the payroll for? Just to spew agitprop out here to people who are smart enough to filter through that? You're thinking that we need an app to decipher the rhetoric that you filtering out here to the people? No. People smart enough to receive it and say, Now, if you're saying something that makes sense, cool. But no, you talking crazy, bro. They have them on the payroll for what? Janitorial services? Go out here and muddy the waters. You know, instead of cleaning up the piss off the floor, I want you to go in there with a bucket and dump it on the floor and goddamn make him feel uncomfortable. Eddie didn't say that. He said he couldn't offer Bud any different than his top ranked deal because all the fights he needed were on the PBC. Hey, man, talk to him, Toby. Talk to him, man. You know what I'm saying? From the 1st of January to the 25th of December, talk to their ass, man. He mad Turki can give Tank the money he want the PBC can't. Oh, shit, boy. I'm going to go through here and goddamn screenshot some of these motherfucking comments, boy. That's a whole nother live, shouty. This is a whole nother live. These comments, KO, I'm telling you, I'm about to do a whole nother live down the road. Maybe KO is trying to audition for a job with Turk. I doubt Turk will have this dude on deck. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to show some type of evidence that within your own country, you have made an attempt to attend fights. You need to know how the process works. It's not easy. Meeting the timelines and being punctual to get there and get a seat as media. I mean, it's not easy, bro. That February 22nd card is mean. I'm definitely throwing a fight party at the crib that night. Yeah, that's championships from top to bottom, bro. Come on. Championships from top to bottom. Turki bought the Ring magazine with his personal funds, totally separate from Riyadh season. Well, you can't tell somebody that claims to know so much about the budget, because you gotta understand, he was one of the ones that was wrangling that rhetoric out there about Turki al-Sheikh losing money, primarily when he brought the first fight card to the U.S. and he was hating on Crawford again. You know what I'm saying? He was over there hating on Crawford, talking about he lost money, it was barely anybody there and all that. I mean, this shit don't change, bro. Let PBC join Turki tomorrow and he'll take back everything he said about Turki. He will have no choice, because who do he look like? Because Top Rank is already doing their thing. Golden Boy, Queensberry, Matchroom, they're already doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? It's people that's joining forces with him for a reason. I wonder how Michelle Joy Phelps was treated in Saudi Arabia. I'd love to hear her take on things in Saudi and how other women are treated. Well, she seems to be very, very well, doing very, very well over there. You know what I'm saying? Every time I see her in the interview, she's taking pictures and all that. I mean, she seems to be doing well. You know, me being one of the content creators who actually interviewed her at one point in time, did a 101. Shout out to Michelle Joy Phelps, man. I know she did switch companies. You know, she's working under somebody else as far as media wise. Shout out to Trick Noti. Happy holidays to you, man. What's good with the Oracle in the building? Yeah, Nino Clown. Oh, that's Nino Clown, man. You ain't never lied, boy. Nino Clown on deck. For real. He say he is the best debater, but when he does the debate, he always faces his computer at an angle or cuts off his camera. Well, you know, it's been said in the past that, you know, sometimes when you cut the camera off, it's a moment that rehydrate. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that content or liquid consists of in a rehydration manner, we're not sure, but it's been seen before previously. It's been seen before. You know, cutting the camera off so the cup cannot be seen for him, you know, consuming some type of foreign liquid. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to get up out of here, people. I got to roll. It's been a pleasure. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm going to do a whole nother live on some of these comments and where they was coming from. I appreciate the feedback, the interaction. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game. And I appreciate y'all for always holding your square, you know what I'm saying, of integrity. I appreciate that. Y'all are not followers. Y'all speak your shit. And don't be a follower of whatever I got going on, somebody else. You know what I'm saying? You'll be in situations like, you know, I was in this conversation and I was just talking regular boxing, quite light work from what we do over here. And a person sat there and said, "Oh, you think you know everything and other people don't?" And I was like, you must not be clear on how boxing talk goes. Boxing talk will always have a certain temperature, whether that temperature is at room or it's elevated. It's always going to be that type of temperature with boxing debates, period, boxing conversation. So, you know, listening to this guy call people stupid, dumb, and ignorant, I just find it purposely him trying to get a reaction. And he can say I gave him a review all he want to, but I see right through the shit. Why he's going up here so hard for them is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? But appreciate that info there, Trick. But y'all hold it down. Till next time, man, I'm out.